So you think loyalty means anything in WWE? You think Paul Heyman actually cared about Seth Rollins? Let me tell you something that's going to make your blood boil. While you were sitting there believing in friendship and trust, Paul Heyman just pulled off the most disgusting, most calculated betrayal in recent WWE history, and honestly, Seth Rollins should have seen it coming from a mile away. But did he? No. And now we're all watching the fallout of what might be the biggest power shift WWE has seen in years. This isn't just another storyline twist. This is Paul Heyman doing what Paul Heyman does best, looking out for Paul Heyman. And if you think I'm overreacting, stick around because the receipts I'm about to show you will prove that this man has been playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Let me paint you the picture of what just went down. Seth Rollins, the visionary, the man who has given everything to WWE, who has carried this company on his back through injuries, through controversies, through absolute chaos, he extended his hand to Paul Heyman. He brought him into his inner circle. He trusted him. And what does Heyman do? He stabs Seth right in the back and runs straight into the arms of Brock Lesnar, the same beast who has terrorized WWE for over 2 decades. Here's the thing that makes this even more infuriating. Paul Heyman spent months building Seth's confidence. He was in his corner, whispering strategies, helping him prepare for the biggest matches of his career. Seth actually started believing that maybe, just maybe, he had found someone who understood the game on his level. But here's what Seth forgot: Paul Heyman doesn't have partners. He has clients. He has investments. And when Brock Lesnar came calling, Seth became yesterday's news faster than you can say Suplex City. Now before we go any further, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. Let's talk about the why behind this betrayal, because it's deeper than you think. Brock Lesnar is entering what could be his final championship run. He needs someone who knows how to navigate the political landscape of WWE, someone who can manipulate situations, someone who can turn a loss into a win just by talking. That's Paul Heyman. But here's the kicker: Heyman didn't just join Brock for nostalgia. He joined him because he knows exactly what Seth doesn't have, the killer instinct that says, I don't care who I hurt to get to the top. Seth Rollins built his entire comeback on being the hero WWE needs. He wanted to prove that you could be successful without selling your soul. He wanted to show that integrity matters. And Paul Heyman just laughed in his face and said, integrity doesn't win championships, kid. Dominance does. The absolutely maddening part: Heyman was telegraphing this the entire time. Go back and watch the footage. Every promo, every interview, every backstage segment, Paul was always keeping one eye on Brock's status. He was always measuring his options. Seth was so focused on his opponents in the ring that he never noticed the opponent sitting right next to him. Here's a trivia question for you: how many times has Paul Heyman betrayed a WWE superstar he was managing? Drop your answer in the comments below and let's see who's really been paying attention to the Advocate's track record. This move changes everything. First, it means Seth Rollins is now isolated. He lost his strategic advisor, and worse, that advisor is now weaponized against him. Every strength Seth has, every weakness he tried to hide, Paul Heyman knows all of it. He knows Seth's injury history, his psychological triggers, his family dynamics. Heyman didn't just betray Seth. He downloaded Seth's entire playbook and handed it to the most dangerous predator in WWE. Second, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman back in his corner is terrifying for the entire roster. We've seen this combination before, and it resulted in years of dominance, destroyed careers, and a championship scene that revolved entirely around whatever Brock wanted. The locker room should be panicking right now because this reunion means Brock is coming for blood, and he's got the smartest mind in wrestling telling him exactly where to strike. Third, and this is what nobody's talking about yet, this betrayal has created the most personal rivalry we've seen in years. Seth can't just let this go. This isn't about a championship. This isn't about rankings. This is about a man who looked Seth in the eyes, shook his hand, and then chose chaos over loyalty. Seth Rollins is going to want revenge, and when Seth wants revenge, he becomes the most dangerous version of himself. Think about it. Seth rebuilt himself from the ground up after his own heel turn, after his own betrayals. He knows what it's like to be the villain who stabs people in the back. He knows those tactics. And now he's going to use every single one of them against Heyman and Lesnar. The difference is, Seth has nothing to lose anymore. Heyman took the last piece of trust Seth had left and shattered it. But here's where it gets interesting. Paul Heyman might have just made the biggest mistake of his career. Yes, he has Brock Lesnar. Yes, they have history. But Seth Rollins is younger, hungrier, and now he's motivated by pure rage. Seth doesn't need to be the bigger man anymore. He doesn't need to set an example. He just needs to destroy the two men who disrespected him. Another trivia question for you: what year did Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar first team up in WWE? Comment below. The WWE Universe is split on this. Some people are saying Seth should have never trusted Heyman in the first place. Others are saying this is brilliant storytelling. But here's my take: this is Paul Heyman doing what he's always done. He's a survivor, he's an opportunist, and he will always choose power over people. The real question now is, what's Seth going to do about it? Does he go scorched earth and try to take both of them out? Does he find his own advocate, someone who can match Heyman's mind games? Or does he do what Seth Rollins does best: he evolves, he adapts, and he proves that he doesn't need anyone to be the best in the world? My prediction? This is going to get ugly. We're talking months of psychological warfare, brutal matches, and promos that are going to leave people speechless. Seth is going to expose every dirty secret Paul Heyman has. He's going to remind everyone why he's called the architect, because he knows how to systematically tear down empires, and Heyman just painted a target on his back. Here's what makes me furious though. WWE is going to position this as a business decision by Heyman. They are going to try to make it seem logical, but there's nothing logical about betraying someone who gave you a second chance. Seth brought Heyman back into relevance when Brock was semi-retired. Seth gave him purpose, and Heyman spit in his face. The wrestling world is buzzing right now, and rightfully so. This is the kind of moment that defines eras. This is the kind of betrayal that creates legendary feuds. And if WWE handles this right, we're looking at WrestleMania main event material. One final trivia question before we wrap up: who do you think will win in a match between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar now that Heyman's involved? Let us know in the comments. The bottom line is this: Paul Heyman is a snake. He always has been, and he always will be. Seth Rollins learned that lesson the hard way. But unlike other superstars who have been betrayed by Heyman, Seth has the ability, the intelligence, and now the motivation to make both Heyman and Lesnar regret this decision for the rest of their careers. This is Wrestling Zone Insider, and we'll be covering every development in this story as it unfolds. Make sure you're subscribed because you do not want to miss what happens next. This betrayal is just the beginning of what's going to be an insane chapter in WWE history. What do you think about Paul Heyman's betrayal? Are you Team Seth, or do you think Heyman made the right business move? Sound off in the comments and let's get this conversation going. And remember, if this video fired you up, hit that like button and share it with every wrestling fan you know, because we need to talk about this betrayal.